baby. We are all the way back right now. Make sure make sure we sound all good. Holy smokes. Welcome in our first recap show of the football season, and it did not disappoint. Florida State versus Georgia Tech. Welcome in, everyone, to Snap's post-game chat. T-Bob is at the beach or lake, one of the this show. It's me, Aaron Murray, one of your co-hosts of Snaps, our daily college football show. And don't think any of us were expecting this. I put in my Twitter a little bit ago in the fourth quarter. I said, who's expecting Georgia Tech to be up 7 points in the fourth quarter? And they end up winning it on a last-second field goal, walking off in Ireland. An incredible start to the college football season. We're going to be breaking it down from the Georgia Tech perspective. We'll be breaking it down from the Florida State perspective as well. And you already see in the chat right now, Ryan Smith says, Aaron, you failed Georgia Tech. So T-Bob and I have been playing on the NCAA game all the week one big-time matchups. I won the first four, so T-Bob got to pick who he wanted between Florida State and Georgia Tech on the game. He picked Florida State, actually got his first win of the season on the video game, but Georgia Tech gets it where it matters the most, on the field in week 0. What an incredible start. Everyone get in the chat, jump on the YouTube. We'll be answering some of the questions along the way, reactions to this game, maybe a little bit look ahead to the week 1 matchups that start on Thursday next week. I'm going to start with the winners first. I know a lot of people want to talk about FSU and you know the possible hangover from a year ago of not making the playoffs, the negativity, but I want to focus on Georgia Tech, a team that went 7-6 last year, a team that had some pretty monster wins, and T-Bob and I talked about it a week ago. Really have built a ton of momentum between last season going 7-6 under Keys, his first year there, to the ability to recruit as of late. I think top 25 class, top 30 class. You just got a 5-star offensive lineman that committed to you over schools like Ohio State, for goodness sakes. Things seem to be moving in the right direction for Georgia Tech. So how do you take advantage of the momentum? You win a game in which everyone is watching. You're the first college football game in America in the college football season going against Florida State, who we've talked about the entire offseason because of the snub from the college football season a year ago, the playoffs, and you went in there and won it in front of all of America, in front of all freaking Ireland. You won the football game. So that is how you keep the momentum going on your side for Georgia Tech, 24-21. And we got T in the house.
Yo, Aaron, what's up? Can you hear me okay? I'm on my computer. Does this sound at least
Yeah, you sound great, bro. You look good, too.
Oh, my God.
What a game.
Hey, dude, what a game, boys. What a start to the college football season, dude. Hey, bro, Georgia Tech last night, I was putting Bobby to bed at the lake here at about 10 or 11 o'clock. I was showing him Haynes King highlights in the crib, watching Haynes King highlights with the boys at 2 a.m. And look at Haynes and the boys getting how about some of those drives, dude.
Let me say this first about Haynes King. The improved throwing motion from where he was at A&M a few years ago. I mean, we were all clowning him. Like everyone remember, just go back and remember the picture or Google it of Haynes King's throwing motion at Texas A&M. I mean, I can't even fit it in my damn screen. I got to back up 10 feet. I mean, it is so long. And now all of a sudden, like, I didn't notice it at all today. It looked quick. Ball's coming out. He has pressure. We know he's athletic. He evades the pressure, gets the ball out. He looks so much better as a passer. We already knew he was a hell of a runner. I mean, the cojones on that dude running the football the entire game. I'm not counting Haynes as like some Heisman guy. Like, I'm going to pump the brakes here. But damn, was he improved from what we've seen in years past.
He's great. And you know, me and a couple of my buddies were actually talking about this during the game. Like, that is why Haynes King is why the transfer portal is actually awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, in the past, Haynes King would have been buried. He would have been lost to time. He would have been like, he got injured, lost a job at A&M, and then we never saw him again, right? And instead, now in front of, I don't know how many people watch this, 7 million, 10 million, I don't know, right? But the only college game to kick off the season in fucking Ireland. Yeah. Instead, now he gets to show off in front of millions of people, make his name. It's such a massive win for Brent Key and the Georgia Tech already had a lot of juice and a lot of positive momentum. You know what I was shocked by, Aaron? Well, first off, who's the new defensive coordinator, Santucci, they kept showing? The Georgia Tech defense was abysmal against the run last year. They were fucking great today. 44 in the middle is a psycho dog, dude. I love that, man.
Well, they didn't look like that in the first drive. I was like, damn, Florida State's about to run right through them. I was like,
where missed the very first drive of the game. I didn't see what happened.
They ran right through them. They ran right through them.
Oh, wow. That's shocking. Because they
ran right through them first drive. I was like, this is Florida State coming back, pissed off from a year ago. Essentially bigger, better athletes, as we would assume Florida State would have over Georgia Tech. And they're just going to run them. I mean, almost like a Michigan, Washington type feel where we're just bigger, stronger, faster, and we're just going to run the ball down your throat the entire game. They played a little bit more too high. I'm going to go back and watch the film, but I just remember seeing a little bit too high safeties. And then all of a sudden after that drive, you saw Georgia Tech get a little bit more aggressive and say, hey, if we're going to lose this game, DJU's going to have to win it.
Yes, I was about to say, you know me, now that we've been playing NCAA 25, I'm basically a quarterback. And it definitely stood out to me how Georgia. So I missed that first drive. I didn't realize because, like, to me, the entire game, Georgia Tech was just daring Haynes to beat him. Blitz and safety, 0.
You mean DJ? You're talking about DJ?
DJU to make a play and beat him. And DJU, he's kind of who he's always been, where he's efficient, he's good to a point. But I was actually shocked he came up with the 2 fourth-down conversions. Credit to him. Right. Yeah. Because they were because in both those plays too, they went man saying, look, man, you got to make it.
Well, the first one they dropped 8, which I absolutely hate.
Yeah. They dropped back.
The second one they brought the pressure. DB can't let the receiver get inside of him like that. I mean, those were 2 big plays by him.
Either way, those were 2 really good plays, but on the whole, DJU remains an unthreatening quarterback.
He is he's not going to lose you the game. But he's not going to win you the game either. He needs everyone else around him to play at an elevated level. Offensive guys, defensive guys. He's a game manager. He's going to go out there and make a couple plays here or there. He's going to be efficient. But the downfield throws, the inaccuracy on some of those ones. I mean, the one he should have been a touchdown. Underthrows the receiver on the route. Just a couple misses where you're like, okay, the guy's played a lot of football. I expect him to hit those passes, but at the end of the day, like, am I truly expecting DJU to be an elite quarterback? No, he is what he is. You have to have elite guys around him on both sides of the football, and the team has to be really, really good. And I think what we take away from this game, T, is Florida State does not have the dogs on either side of the football that they had a year ago at all. No verse, no receivers. They don't got those dogs on either side that they did a year ago.
Well, but it is weird, right? So, like, Henry in the chat says DJU wasn't the problem. He came through for 4th down twice the last scoring drive. Tech won this game more than FSU lost it. To be clear, I 1,000% agree with the latter part of that. Georgia Tech won this game. That's what I was most struck by from the Tech perspective. That is a team that is tough, that hits hard, that has speed, and they've got a really confident, good upperclassman quarterback, an alpha. And so, like, that's a recipe to punch up a bit. And they're going to have to with that schedule that they have. But so again, this is not about FSU losing. And DJU was not the problem, but Aaron's breakdown of him is perfect in that. And it doesn't seem like, because, like Aaron said, he's not going to win you the game, and combined with what looks like a step back talent-wise for Florida State, that's not a good recipe. Because now you don't have someone that can overcome. Yeah, I mean, to me, bro, you want to talk about who won the game, Henry? That Georgia Tech offensive line.
Hell yeah.
This Florida State D-line was supposed to be so badass. One of the top groups in the country. They got pushed around. And then how about, I can't remember. It was a Rattler.
Georgia Tech, 190 yards rushing, 5.3 yard average, Steve.
That's what I'm saying.
190 yards rushing.
And then how about this? How about that fucking fumble recovery from old boy when there were 4 Seminoles around? Drop snap, game's about to be fucking over. You've blown it. 4 Seminoles around, and I can't remember who it was.
The ball bounced right for Georgia Tech twice because Haynes in the last drive too, and then to be able to get the ball in a field goal range with the little screen on the outside, they made the plays. Georgia Tech made the plays,
but bounced right, but also like on that fumble the O lineman got on that drive they ended up scoring on, like Haynes tipped it away. Like Haynes was getting tackled. He saw Florida State player about to grab it, and he just smart play, heady small play where he taps it away, and the O lineman somehow finds his way to it. And then look at for Georgia Tech again, it wasn't like, I thought Florida State had a couple nice breaks. They had the face mask early on that 3rd and 7 sack that extended drive, I think, turned into a touchdown. They had their kicker hit 2 50-plus yard field goals, which is insane in college. Credit to him.
59 could have been good from 64. Bomb that thing.
Our living room math was 61. We're not giving it 64. Dude? I was thinking about that the other day. Is that one of the most fun parts of football season? Is sitting around with the fellas and talking about how long a field goal would have been good from. Like anytime a long field goal goes
that was good from 64. That wasn't 2 yards long.
It was
no.
Like 62 at the max, dude.
Okay, no. 62 and a half.
But that's what I'm saying. It's the most fun thing in the world. Like, would have been good from 65, dude. Fuck. It's a big kicker. God, what a good
Buster Fall. I want to go back on the winner real quick.
Yeah, sorry.
Because everyone was talking about this on the Twitter too. I mean, Buster Faulkner. So we got to hit it.
Oh yeah, he's the
Georgia
OC,
Tech
right?
OC.
Yeah,
was
I like that offense.
They were great last year. I mean, besides Haynes King with leading the ACC in interceptions, they were good.
He led in touchdowns too, though.
I know, led in touchdowns, interceptions
in the air and 10 on the ground, dude. He had 37,
16 picks though.
I fell into a Haynes King wormhole last night.
I'm just saying, what they do offensively, and they got some pretty good playmakers. Like I love the running back Haynes, Jamal Haynes, the quickness there. Obviously, Haynes King's an athlete himself. They got some athletes in the offensive line, like you alluded to. I mean, going against what we perceived, a lot of people perceive as one of the better defensive lines in the country, they held their own. So if Haynes can protect the football second year in the system and play the way he's played, that's a recipe for success. But I thought Faulkner's game plan was great. A lot of movement, a lot of shifts, a lot of jet sweeps, like motions, a lot of eye candy.
Everything about that offense is built off of, and this is what I love about football. And like, there could be way smarter football minds that could articulate this better, but how a lot of the old concepts, it's still the same thing, but just wrapped up in new packaging. So if you're running like the triple option back in the day, the dive is the backbone of everything, right?
Yep.
This system almost feels like the jet sweep is the backbone of everything.
It's putting
like every play we're going to have it's going to let us know, are they a man, or maybe help out in that regard. Like I can hand it to him, I can take it, I can throw it, I can fake it here, do zone read. Like the jet sweep makes everything tick.
I learned the saying from Coach Andy Reid when I was with Kansas City, because like, listen, you can only run so many damn plays, but you have to find ways to present it differently, different formations, different personnel groups, different motions. And he would always say it's putting lipstick on the pig. Same damn thing. We're just going to put a little lipstick on the pig here. We're just going to change it up a little bit and present it differently to the defense.
Normally, lipstick on a pig is a saying that is used as a pejorative, where people say it's like a negative thing to say. So Andy Reid was using it in a positive way, like, look, we just got to gussy this thing up a little bit, dude.
Yeah, just mix it up a little bit. Like, because you want to run what you're good at. You don't want to go out there offensively and feel like you have to run 50 different concepts in a game. So if you have 70 plays, we need to run 60 to 70 different concepts. I want to run the concepts that I'm really, really good at. I want to run the concepts that my quarterback feels most comfortable with. What does he throw well? What does he run well? Okay, this is the package of stuff that he likes to run. Now, how can we expand that? Okay, we're gonna have different personnel groups. Okay, we're gonna have different formations. We're gonna get to the 4 verticals in a variety of ways. We're gonna have different motions. So mixing it up, but still letting Haynes King run an offense in which he feels comfortable with is exactly what Buster Faulkner is doing and did well in this game. So I thought it was.
I mean,
you have to be ecstatic if you're a Georgia Tech fan right now.
Haynes missed his one deep shot that he could have had in the first half, that little fade from the slot. But he did. They did such an excellent job. The wide receivers did such an excellent job blocking on all those little bubble screens. And the wide receiver screen on third down at the end to set up the game-winning field goal. I mean, the execution was so tight. and so crisp from this Georgia Tech team to be in Ireland in that setting and to be that crisp is a real credit to Brent Key. And
how far
what the game is, dude. I mean, this is like we talked about last week. They got the 21st recruiting class in the country right now.
I know.
They got some investment.
A lot of momentum, man. They got a lot of momentum.
Blue chippers in this class, dude. And now they get this win on this stage. And look, the schedule, like they talk about today, it's the fourth hardest country. It's fucking brutal. You got to go at Louisville. You got Notre Dame at home. You got to go at UNC. You got to go at Virginia Tech. You got to go at Georgia. You got NC State. You got Miami. Like they said, they got 10 or 11 bowl teams from last year in this schedule. So I don't know that I still consider them like an ACC threat because I think their schedule will kind of screw them. But this is a team where I feel a little like I hope they can win enough games to make people very, very happy because this could be a team where if you're like 7-6, that's actually a really good record because you beat a shit ton of good teams.
Yes. Well, I think for Georgia Tech to say that they beat Florida State, a team that was undefeated a year ago, in that brand goes a long way with continuing the momentum they've created off the field with recruiting, the way that they've been able to raise some funds, all that. Let me ask you this. Florida State, T, what is your mindset changed about them after watching this game? Like, what are they now? Are they a 9-win team? Like, they did not look good today on either side. Defense didn't look great. Offense, the lack of playmakers were apparent. DJU and his inability to push the ball down the field. And it rained for the first half. It was wet. I get it. But we know who DJU is, and doesn't look like there was a lot of trust or improvement from what he's been in years past. Is this now a team that we give no shot at winning the ACC?
The problem is, I don't think they're going to win the ACC, right? I think there's probably too many good teams. The problem for Florida State is this is a win, or excuse me, this is a loss that will be sensationalized, right? Like, it should be okay for Florida State after an undefeated season to take a step back. You see it all the time. Maybe 100%. Not at like the Kirby Smart Georgia or the Nick Saban Alabama, but for the most part, like look at LSU after 2019, right? Or Auburn after their natties. Like a lot of times you reach these crescendo points, normal programs do, and then you do take a kind of significant step back as you refine yourself. But in the context of the pain that they suffered last year, remember, if you listen to snaps, you know I call it a grievous wound. Like it is a wound that can go infect. It can get gangrenous and get infected. It can kill you if you're not careful. And so in the context, losing this game after that pain and with so many people, I mean, just look at chat. So many people sitting here ready to dunk on you because like, oh, I told like people.
But also you talk about like the drop back, but what we've praised Florida State and Mike Norvell about is the fact that he has been one of the best guys in rebuilding rosters. Like they showed at the start of the game. The guys that he got, not only through recruiting, but through the transfer portal, he's done a great job, and he's assembled what we viewed were pretty damn good replacements for what they lost a year ago.
Yes, but the transfer portal does come with a lot of variance. And again,
100%. 100%.
Like okay, this is I hate using this because it just makes me sound like a pure local guy, but I think about LSU secondary. 2 years ago, all transfers, it worked perfectly. Jarek Bernard Converse, Mekhi Gardner, others, it was a really good secondary. Last year, all transfers, it was an absolute disaster. Not a single piece worked out. So, like, when you rely on the portal, you are accepting more risk than that's why, like, guys like Kelly and Smart are so hard about, like, process, build in-house, and then add addendums. And again, there's no one way to skin a cat. Both things can be successful. But it's the portal can just be a bit more, like I said, a bit more variable, a bit more dangerous in terms of when it can go side.
100%. But he's proven that he can do it because he's done it and he's done it successfully.
They're also young into this run, dude. They've only been good for a year and a half. Even 2 years ago when they beat LSU, they started 3-3, and then they finished great and won 7 in a row, and they parlayed that into 13 more. But like, it's not like Florida State, like they were so good this last year and a half that we're like, oh yeah, Florida State's back to being like a perennial power. But like, there's probably still some growing pains there, dude. They spent a long time finding themselves, and then they suffered what was one of the toughest, like whether you agree with it or not, we can all agree that had to be one of the toughest experiences of all time. You win your conference undefeated and just get told, no, sorry, you can't come to the playoff.
What does this do? I started thinking about this towards the end of the game because I started thinking about the week 1 matchup. So we had Georgia Tech, Florida State. Florida State was you look at College Game Day today, I think 3 of them picked Florida State to go win the ACC. They get that top 4 spot, they get a bye in the playoffs. Clemson is the next team. Clemson has Georgia next week. Miami's the next team. Miami's on the road at Florida next week. If all 3 lose, is there what's the worry meter that should be with the ACC? Because that to me that's very interesting.
ACC, bro. ACC doesn't need to be worried. I kind of agree with Jim Phillips, dude. The ACC was a little disrespected last year. They had a winning record against the SEC.
I get it, but it's a new year. It's a new year. It's a new year. When you talk about last year, there's a new year.
Look, they got a Virginia Tech that's on the rise.
That's why I'm asking. Like Virginia Tech's on the rise. NC State's going to be a good team this year.
Tech on the rise. So I think
I'm just saying, like the narrative after next weekend for the ACC could be pretty bad.
The what?
The narrative is going to be pretty bad next week, unless Miami wins. If Miami wins, I think it's going to be okay. But like, if 2 of your big boys lose,
Clemson beats Georgia.
Obviously, if Clemson beats Georgia, very different world we'll be living in.
Hey Kirby, you ever seen a bedazzled football before? Hey, check this out, man.
I'm with Aiden in the chat. NC State is going to be a team. We've talked about them,
bro. Like every time you give yourself.
You're saying all I'm saying is the ACC is a chance to be more open than what we thought when we were. A lot of people were saying, okay, it's a battle between Clemson, Florida State, Miami. Now all of a sudden Miami, and then we're kind of crowning Miami as one of those teams without them really proving it either to us. It's like, is it truly based on what we saw from Florida State today? Is the ACC now wide open? Is the ACC wide open?
I am not willing to declare it wide open as we sit today because I got to see that Clemson is not out and out better than that second tier. Clemson is the only thing stopping me from declaring it wide open. You know what I'm saying?
Not even Miami.
Every other team's very sexy and competitive. I can't grant Miami that status yet. Miami, if Miami wins the conference, it was wide open. You know what I'm saying? Like they're like such that would be such a. They haven't done that in a long time.
Yeah.
And so for them to do that, I would declare that as that is wide open.
It's going to be an interesting conference. I think it's more open than it was 4 hours ago. Obviously.
Yes. No, 1,000% that. I agree with that.
Way more open.
Because
way more open.
Georgia Tech looks good. Virginia Tech looks good. Wait, okay, help me out here. Is SMU in the Big 12 or the ACC? I can't remember.
ACC.
They are in the ACC. Okay.
They're in the ACC.
They have the easiest Power 4 schedule in the entire country, so they could be really good. Like the ACC's got some juice, dude. We don't need the ACC to go anywhere.
No, I'm not saying they need to go in there. I'm just talking about from like an entertainment standpoint here.
It's my own personal soapbox. I'm not saying you're saying this, but like.
I'm all for conferences being wide open. I think we've talked about the Big 12 is wide open. I think the SEC is pretty open with 5 or 6 teams. I think now the ACC all of a sudden can have more teams that make things interesting. This is good for college football. Having Georgia Tech beat Florida State is good for college football.
Yeah,
I'm fine with
agree.
it. 100% fine with it.
Do you know how lame football would be right now if it was just the Big Ten and SEC with a few teams added in? Like, do you know how fun the Big 12 is? The ACC feels so much fun. So, yeah. Oh,
hey, we got our first super chat.
Super chat. Let's go, dude. First super chat of the Independent Snaps era. Shout out Lost Hefty, $2. Oh, yeah. Look, you turned
it. We got near 400 people in the YouTube watching live. We got over 2,000 people total between socials and YouTube watching live. So appreciate everyone following. It's going to be a big year for us. Go on the YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, hit that thumbs up button right now. T-Bob and I are obviously really, really excited for this opportunity to keep growing the channel. So appreciate everyone's support. And hell, it's only freaking week 0. So next week's going to get a little even more exciting.
Wait, how about shows? The Georgia Tech uniforms. And I noticed this watching the highlights last night. I didn't watch Georgia Tech at all last year, except for Miami game, right? I'm guilty of that. I agree, Seth. The Russian college football is back. Thank heavens. I thank the heaven. I agree. But I mean, am I crazy, or does Georgia Tech have some of the best unis in the country?
I like their white. Their white on white is nice. I don't like the gold jerseys.
Numbers, the white on white with the gold numbers is so fucking clean looking.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a legendary skin off a video game, especially with the Irish Celtic knot stripe down the middle. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. Like, I would, if I was a little kid right now, I would buy a Haynes King white jersey, and I'd wear it.
You think I'm gonna be seeing more Haynes King white jerseys going around Atlanta next week?
I mean, look, we all know that Joe just still the big dog, but Tech's got some juice. Like, I know everybody has their one friend or probably a couple that are Georgia Tech fans, and I'm very happy for them. Like, I've already texted.
I was at the park this morning, and I actually saw a decent amount of people wearing some Georgia Tech polos. That
Brent Key's got it going, dude.
They got the money flowing in. I told you that. Wait, J Dogs Outdoors. Hey guys, love the show.
Oh, hell yeah.
Go Dogs. Appreciate it, man.
Oh, appreciate it. Yeah, thank you, J Dog, my fucking dog. Let's go. Wait, actually, Aaron, does this mean that I'm better than you at NCAA though?
I was waiting for you to say that shit. I started the show. You missed the start of the show. I brought it up that T beat me with Florida State, and then Georgia Tech got the revenge.
Is it because you couldn't win with Haynes King? You should have been throwing them corner routes the whole time, bitch.
I should have been throwing I actually had a good games with Haynes. I had one stupid pick because your DB was like, got him.
And your guy dropped the pick six that would have buried me.
Damn, Nathan. Georgia Tech O-line making me.
He says, $2 Georgia Tech O-line making me squirt. No diddy. Look at our guy Brian Turner back. He went from the Washington picture. He was no picture for a little while. He's got a profile picture back. Georgia Tech whooped the Florida State D-line. We were told was super elite. Florida State O-line isn't near the unit that abused us last year, game one. I agree, Brian. That's
well, this is a different turnout.
The line, again, this is why the word I keep going back to with Georgia Tech is tough.
Yeah.
Thank you for the $5 super chat, because they won both lines of scrimmage handily. And how about the hits, dude? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Florida State felt like, to me, they were feeling the hits more. And when a Georgia Tech player would get popped, like there was that one big third down where Haynes actually had a pretty bad pass, but the receiver like twists his body, jumps up, and
catches the corner route where the safety hit him. Yeah.
And he gets caught into the chin, and old boy popped right up and was like, dude, first down. Like, Florida State was feeling them Georgia Tech boys tonight, dude. That's crazy. That's crazy to think about.
Think I will say this for Florida State, though, and you, I know you probably don't like me saying this, but there's a lot of confidence when you have a quarterback that I'm not saying they don't believe in DJU, but like Jordan Travis was that guy. And he'd been there, and you saw the development. You saw the toughness of Jordan Travis throughout. Like, you had that leader that exuded that confidence. And then obviously, like, you had guys with swagger, like, Keon Coleman has a ton of swagger. It's like, you need those guys. And I just didn't feel like Florida State had those guys or the quarterback that the team really felt confident around. Where Georgia Tech, they got their quarterback, they got some playmakers, and you could feel the confidence a little bit more from them.
Wait, so that's Brian Turner, my bad, dude. I was thinking of Turner Young. That's on me. But Brian, what's up, dude? Thank you for the super chat. Speaking
of LSU, though, too, real quick.
I want to build on your point that you just made, because that goes back to our conversation, though, about the down year after a great year.
Yeah.
Very few programs can replace those elite leaders and not miss a step. And it's like Resident Sleeper 22 here says, look, I'm a lifelong FSU fan. I never understood the hype for this D-line. They lost Burst and Fisk, and people thought they'd be better. How? I mean, I can understand how you arrive at they'll still be really good, but like, it's, only the schools that can replace leaders of that caliber and not miss a beat are, I mean, generally only one or two.
Well, and they've also been doing it for a long time. Like you said, Florida State's still early in this process of being somewhat what we'd call, for the brand that they are, back to being as relevant as they were a year ago. Yes.
Yeah. They're trying to get back to being perennial, which is very tough to do. I mean, how many schools in the country do you consider a true perennial championship power? Georgia, Ohio State,
Alabama,
Michigan. Do we put Michigan in there now?
It's hard. It's hard not to, because of what they've done for the past 3 years. But
these other schools are going to lose their coach, right?
Yeah.
Oklahoma used to be in the perennial club. They're not right now. LSU's not.
Yeah. 3. I mean, Clemson was until the past couple of years.
Still kind of borderline. I would almost grant just to be friendly, but to still prove like how exclusive the club is. You could put Clemson in, and this could be their last probation year. But even then, we're talking about 4 teams.
Yep,
4 teams. 100%. That's crazy.
It is wild.
Likes, thank you guys. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
Doesn't LSU wish they would have had this Florida State the past 2 years to start the season off? Jeez.
So this is, I'd be lying if I said there wasn't a little bit of happiness of watching FSU fans have to go through that same like feeling. Like the analogy I used last year with Florida State, it's like the whole offseason is this incredible night at the bar where you're dancing, you're having fun, and a person who's just way more attractive than you somehow have got their attention, and you all are vibing and flirting. And you get it. You bring him back to the house, and then you just come immediately. Feel so bad about yourself, and it's so deflating, and it's so depressing, and you're so embarrassed. Like that's how it's felt the last 4 years for LSU. So I'm glad that FSU had to suffer a little bit of that premature miserableness that they've inflicted upon LSU the last couple of years.
First live feels good, brother. First live feels good.
Has that ever happened to you? Because to be clear, I've never really had a one night stand. I've only ever dated my wife.
We're a little bit early. No, I've always been the opposite. Just stamina for days.
No way, dude. You little rabbit. You just fucking
little rabbit, bro.
For like 20 minutes.
Just sweating my ass off.
So hairy and so sweaty.
So hairy and fucking sweaty. No, I actually wasn't as hairy back in the day because I would shave. I do the full shave.
You do a full shave?
Full shave. Actually, I don't get hair on my back. I'm not like you.
You don't get any hair on your back?
No, just chest.
Actually, I've never been hairy. I'm starting to get wings on my back, and I'm so self-conscious about where it's coming from. Why is that happening?
So we went to no huddle junior, senior season. So we needed obviously, signals for the plays. So our 10 and 11 was our zone out of the gun. And obviously, Bobo, everyone made fun of me because I would shave my chest and whatnot. So our play for 11 was this. It was this.
Oh, a little chef
shaving. Yeah. So this was zone right from the gun. Murray.
Good, dude. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh,
I like the look, nice fantastic. And jacked back in the day. All right. Well, you go back to go enjoy the lake. I gotta go do a little man.
Hey, wait. How was the foursome?
Foursome was great.
Yeah.
Very entertaining.
For those who don't know, Aaron had a foursome with 3 mature women on the golf course for charity the other day.
Yeah.
Hey, were they a little like scandalous? I find that old women are a little like they like to push the envelope.
Well, the 2 of them were Spanish. Like one was from Venezuela, one was from I think they both were. But anyways, like somewhat heavy Spanish accents. And they're like, you're gonna learn a lot of Spanish today because they were cussing up a storm. Like the amount of like puntas and coño tu madres, coños I heard. I was like, oh my God, I was dying laughing the whole fucking round. Dying laughing.
Oh man, well that's great.
Oh, so good. All right, well, we will be back on Monday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central with another live edition and get everyone ready for week 1. And then
what a game.
Yeah, great game. Great start to the season, boys and girls. Appreciate everyone with us live right now. Thumbs up, hit it, share, all that good stuff. It's going to be a great season. Then I think next week we're going to open up our – what are we opening up? Discord. So we can do live chats during the game on Discord too to have a little fun. So be on the lookout for that.
Guys, just the overall theme of this fucking right, Georgia Tech. Congratulations, Yellow Jacket fans. It's been a long, dark time from a once proud program, and this is one of those special moments that make college football the sport that we're all so deeply obsessed with. So, like, 100%. If you know a Georgia Tech fan in your life, send them a text, give them a hug, give them a little love, because they're on cloud 9 right now, and it's an earned cloud 9. It was a long road to get here.
100%. All right, everyone. Have a good rest of your weekend. See y'all later.
Later, guys.